Everyone will please take their seats. This is my 60th annual meeting, and and it's the biggest, and I think it'll be the best yet. And I would, before I start, I'd like to give you a few figures from yesterday, because we set all kinds of records. Yesterday we had 19,700 people that joined us in the afternoon between noon and 5 o'clock, and that was up from 16,200, which was a previous record the year before. And in every aspect, we set records. See's Candy did $317,000 against $283,000 the year before. And most of these were limited by capacity. I mean, there were lines there throughout the total day. Brooks did $310,000. It was an all-time records sales day for them, and I think they have close to 3,000 runners lined up for Sunday, which is a lot of people to get up. I think we've had 2,200 or 2,400 before, but 3,000, and that doesn't count me, and it won't count me. And I could go up and down the line. Jazz wears around 250,000, double the previous years. They just sell as fast as they can sell. Most every place had people lined up at the cash register, sometimes for a lot longer wait than wish we had, but we'll learn the game eventually. And it goes on and on. Every company set records, and there's no way of knowing how many people we have here today. We have people listening in around the world, but I think we'll probably set records in a great variety of ways. And we're going to have, in a minute, we'll get to the question and answer, but I'd like to first introduce our directors, and I'm Warren Buffett, and I was born and bred right here in Omaha. We have Greg Abel. He was born and bred in Canada. And we have Ajit Jain, who was born and bred in India. So we have a very diverse group. And in the audience, and I will introduce them alphabetically, and if they'll stand as I introduce them. And I know it'll be an effort, but withhold your applause till the end so that we can get through the list. But we'll start alphabetically with Howard Buffett. Howie, would you stand? And withhold the applause. It'll go to his head. Susan Buffett. We have Steve Burke, Ken Chenault, Chris Davis, Sue Decker. Sue's our lead director. Charlotte Guyman, Tom Murphy Jr., Ron Olson, and I'll have a few, and when we finish, I'll have a few more things to add about him. Wally Weitz and Merrill Whitmer. And with that, you've got our all-star cast. And Ron, if you don't mind standing, I would like to point out that Ron they finally got through an age director thing at Berkshire. I think we had 5 that were over 90 here not so long ago, but we put in the highest. Or Sue tells me anyway that it's the highest age limit that any of the companies she checked out came up with. But Ron has been on the board for 28 years and been associated with Charlie Munger at Munger Tolls for many years beyond that, and has been around at a variety of times of crisis and joy and disappointments and surprises and everything else at Berkshire, and has been of invaluable help to us. So I think I'd like to give a special hand to Ron Olson. And I think I'll do something else that isn't done usually at annual meetings, but I haven't had a chance. I listened to him on Thursday afternoon. It's the only investment quarterly call that I listen to, but I listened to Tim Cook, and I understand, and it'll be tough for me to see him from up here, but Tim Cook, there he is. I'm somewhat embarrassed to say that Tim Cook has made the Berkshire a lot more money than I've ever made Berkshire Hathaway. So credit should be given to him for. I knew Steve Jobs briefly, and Steve, of course, did things that nobody else could have done in developing Apple. But Steve picked out Tim to succeed him, and he really made the right decision. Steve died young, as you know, and nobody but Steve could have created Apple, but nobody could. But Tim could have developed it like it has. So on behalf of all of Berkshire, thank you. There's a couple other people I'd like to thank. I don't do any work in terms of the show or anything else around Berkshire, but what you see today is the product of a lot of people at Berkshire. They forget, they don't think of themselves as the one who's supposed to screw a light in and leave for somebody else, and specialists to come along and do other things. The people of Berkshire put on this show every year, and our chief financial officer and just everybody pitches in. It's a remarkable organization that way, but it's led this year in the last few years by Melissa Shapiro, and she's made this whole thing work. Melissa. And then we got an idea a while back, many years ago. I'll take it all the way back. Maybe 65 years ago, I met Carrie Sova's grandfather and his wife. Well, they had 9 children, and Susie and I joined a playhouse group, and I don't look like the kind of guy that would join a playhouse group, but it turned out to be a great move in many ways. First of all, I enjoyed the plays, but beyond that, I met not only Carrie's grandfather, who ran an insurance company in Omaha, Bill Kaiser, but I also met the Blumpkin boys' parents, Louis and Francis. So in one sort of accident, when I was in my 20s, came up with all kinds of good things. And in connection with Carrie, her father ran a company called Central States. And later on, we bought that company. And then her father ran the company. Her sister went to work for Berkshire some years ago, and then she decided to have a family and subsequently had 4 kids, so she left. But Carrie moved right in, and Carrie had amazing talents behind, just like a good many people do. They have talents you don't realize till you give them some responsibility. And so 10 or 11 years ago, I asked Carrie to do a 50th anniversary book about Berkshire and just use her imagination. And she didn't need to check with me or do anything. She never edited a book. She'd never published a book. She'd never dealt with the printers before. But she just went out and promptly put together this 50th anniversary book. And then this year, then Carrie, of course, got married and had 3 kids, so she had to leave us. But and we go to a baseball game once a year, and we invite some of our distinguished alumni like Carrie to join us. And Carrie, even though she was raising 3 children, and you may have met 1 or 2 of them in the last day or so,